Okay, so we want to write a parabola in its vertex form. So we given the parabola y equals x squared plus 2x plus 1. Okay, so if you remember what the vertex form of a parabola is, let's just write it down here. So the vertex form is given by y equals, so there's some form, there may be some coefficient like a, for example, a x minus h squared plus k. Okay, so that's our equation for the vertex form where uh, h and the k, so the point hk is the vertex of the parabola. So essentially, when you're looking at it in this form, you want to convert it into this form. So as you can see, it involves completing a square from what we have here. So step one is to complete the square. So let's take the first two terms. So we have x squared plus 2x, x squared plus 2x plus 1. So remember that you want to do um, the coefficient of the middle term. So that's b. So b by 2 whole squared. And that's the term that's missing to complete the square. So what we have here is x squared plus, so b is 2 by 2 whole square, so 1 squared. So that's 1. So we have a 1 that's missing to complete a square. So what I'm going to do is add and subtract the 1 from here. So plus 1 minus 1. Okay, and then we also have another plus 1 plus 1. So these first three terms, I'm going to use those to write my uh, square, the perfect square trinomial that we're talking about. So I'm going to write this as x plus 1 whole squared, because remember, this is in the form of a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. In this case, the b term is 1. Okay, so I wrote this as a perfect square trinomial, x plus 1 whole squared. Now we have a minus 1 and plus 1, so those are going to cancel off. So this is equal to y. So then step 3 is our answer to see here that this is indeed the vertex form, but we of course do not have a k here. So what is the vertex? Vertex is given by, let's identify the h term. So h term has to be -1, because if I have this -1 and I substitute into the formula, then I get x minus h. H is -1, which gives me back this x plus 1 whole squared. So this is my x value of my vertex, and then the y value, there is no y value of the vertex in this case, because there's nothing, there's no k term, so I'm just going to 0. So this is my final answer, -1 0, and I've written the parabola in the vertex form, which is right here. Okay, all right. All right, so we want to write this parabola y equals x squared minus 8x plus 8 in the vertex form. So let's just remember again, the vertex form is, we said it was y equals a, the coefficient before the x minus h squared plus k, where the point h and k, the x and the y value, is the vertex, are the coordinates of the vertex. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, step 1, is to try to write this as a perfect square trinomial, is to complete the square. So complete the square. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to take our quadratic equation, x squared minus 8x plus 8, and we're going to identify our b term. So remember, because b by 2 whole squared, this is the term that we're going to add and subtract in order to make this into a complete squared, and generate a perfect square trinomial from there. So this is going to be, let's just do the math on the side here. So negative 8 divided by 2 whole squared. So that is essentially negative 4 negative 4 squared is 16. So 16 is the number we're going to add and subtract in order for this to be a perfect square. So let's uh, do that. X squared minus 8x. So I'm going to add 16 and I'm going to subtract 16 also, and there's also 8 here, of course. So why did we add and subtract? Because when we uh, so essentially adding and subtraction means you can essentially, you know, cancel them off, but we're not going to do that because we're trying to make a perfect square trinomial with these first three terms. But the reason why we're subtracting also is we wouldn't make sense if we just added a 16 all of a sudden. So you're also subtracting a 16, so you're really not doing anything, you're just adding and subtracting the same number. Okay, so this one can be written as a perfect. So remember, if x is our a term and 4 is our b term, we can write it as a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, which is our perfect square trinomial, or a squared minus 2ab plus b squared in this case. So a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So let's write it down in that form. So we have then x minus 4 whole squared. So we're writing this x squared minus 8x plus 16 as x minus 4 whole squared. And then you have a negative 16 plus 8, so that turns into negative 8. So this is from these two terms out here, equals y. Okay, so finally, step 2 is to, you can identify the vertex or the answer. The answer is simply x minus 4 squared minus 8 is the parabola written in the vertex form. Now, as you can imagine, the vertex is going to be, let's go back to our equation. So negative 8, so this is in the negative form, so it's just going to be 4. So the vertex is going to be 4, and then the the k term of the y coordinate of the vertex point is going to be negative 8. So 4 negative 8 is the actual vertex, and then this is the vertex form of that quadratic equation. Hope you like this. uh, uh, so see you in the next problem. So you want to write this parabola in the vertex form, y equals 3x squared plus 9x minus 27. So the very first thing you see here is that you try to take the greatest common factor. So step 1 is to take the GCF. So GCF here in this is 3, because 3 is divisible in all of the coefficients. Okay, so let's just do that first. So we have 3 and then x squared plus 3x minus 9. So a quick way to verify this is you should be able to multiply this distributed and then get the original quadratic equation back. So 3x squared plus 9x minus 9 times negative 9 times 3 is negative 27. Okay, good. So the next step is we want to try to complete the square to get it into the vertex form. Remember, the vertex form, as we have been talking about, is y equals some coefficient, possibly a, x minus h squared plus k. So if you look at the formula here also, your the coefficient before x needs to come out of the parentheses, which in this case it has. So we are good. So we can continue with our problem. So write it down then. 3x squared plus 3x minus 9. So let's work like we did before with the first two terms. So take the b term, which is 3. So 3 by 2 whole squared. Remember, b by 2 whole squared is a term that you're going to add or subtract uh, to the first two terms to make it into a perfect square trinomial. So we have then, from there, we have 3, and then we have x squared plus 3x plus 3 by 2 whole squared, which is, let's just say, 9 by 4, and then we also have to subtract it, of course, minus 9 by 4 plus 9. Okay, all right, so step 3 is going to be, let's just say we're going to use our first three terms right in the perfect square trinomial. So let's start another parenthesis here. So we're going to have x plus 3 by 2 whole squared, and then we have the last uh, to actually this made a mistake here. That's going to be negative 9. Negative 9. So then we also have negative 9 fourth minus 9, and then there is a ending with the parentheses. Okay, good. So now let's combine the like terms, the last two terms here, and then we get 3 times we get x plus 3 by 2 whole squared. And then if you know how to, you can LCD this, or you can say 4 times negative 9 is how much? 9 for the negative 36 minus 9 negative, so multiply, add or subtract, and then divide. So that's one of the methods you can use. That's a shortcut for LCD. 9 times 4 negative 36 minus 9 is negative 45, so we have negative 45 divided by 4. Okay, so finally we can say so step 4, our final step, we just distribute it so to get our vertex form. So we get 3x plus 3 by 2 whole squared minus 45 times 3 is 135 by 4. This is of course all equal to y. So let's just put that also, y equals, so this is our final answer here. This is our vertex form. Y equals 3 x plus 3 by 2 whole squared minus 135 by 4. Of course the vertex itself is going to be negative 3 by 2 and then negative 135 by 4, and we discussed how to find the vertex from the vertex form in the previous problem. All right.